So there's been a lot of back and forth within the Ukrainian Air Force as to whether they intercepted this Kinzhal hypersonic missile. And I'll tell you why I put hypersonic in quotes here in a bit. But a couple days ago, a Ukrainian Air Force spokesperson said that claims about shooting down this missile were incorrect. It didn't happen. Well, in the last 24 hours, the commander of the Ukrainian Air Force has come out and said that they did intercept a Kinzhal missile that was fired by a MiG-31, and they intercepted it with a Patriot missile system. So why did I put hypersonic in quotes? I don't think it's a hypersonic missile. It fits one singular criteria for hypersonic missiles, and that's that it flies over Mach 5. It doesn't check any of the other boxes, and I'll go over those in a bit. But a little history on the Kinzhal missile. In 2018, President Putin announced the development of this new weapon, this Kinzhal or dagger missile, and he described the missile as having the capability to fly at hypersonic speeds with the ability to maneuver throughout its flight trajectory, thereby avoiding missile defenses. Now, the Kinzhal missile is merely an air-launched version of the Iskander ground-launched ballistic missile with only minor modifications so that it can be attached to an aircraft, specifically the MiG-31 Foxhound. The MiG-31 is absolutely capable of high speeds and altitude, and it's ideal for launching these missiles, but it can only carry one of them, so it's kind of a wasted platform here. Now, Putin claims that the Kinzhal can reach Mach 10, but that's also been contested by experts who argue it's unlikely given that the Kinzhal missile has its origins in the Iskander missile, and the Iskander missile is believed to reach speeds of Mach 6 to 7 at its maximum, with the Kinzhal sharing the same engine as the Iskander. Its performance should be quite similar. Now, launching it from a high-speed aircraft at altitude might provide a slight boost, but the speed claims of having the Kinzhal hit Mach 10, which is like a fourfold increase, it's just really not going to happen. U.S. intelligence agencies have observed the Iskander missile only being able to travel at Mach 5.9, not Mach 6 or 7, but we'll give Russia the benefit of the doubt here. It's certainly not hitting Mach 10. Now, Jeffrey Lewis, who's a PhD out of the James Martin Center for Nonproliferation Studies, says the Kinzhal is nothing more than an air-launched ballistic missile. It's only hypersonic in the sense that it's pretty much like all ballistic missiles, which are hypersonic. Again, ballistic missiles all go hypersonic. The Minuteman III, which is the U.S.'s nuclear-tipped ballistic missile, travels at Mach 23. So this isn't like some revolutionary technology, as I've said in previous videos. Now, Siddharth Kashul, who is a PhD out of the UK-based defense think tank RUSI, is similarly doubtful about the hypersonic label. It doesn't meet the maneuverability criteria for being a true hypersonic weapon, he says. To meet the criteria to be classified as an HGV, which is a hypersonic glide vehicle, or an HCM, which is a hypersonic cruise missile, a missile has to be highly maneuverable. Everything I've seen indicates the Kinzhal is just an air-launched Iskander missile, a quasi-ballistic missile. Now, it's interesting because he talks about these quasi-ballistic missiles, and this is obviously not something new or revolutionary either, because the U.S. has a quasi-ballistic missile in the ATACMS. So we have these. These are available, and you can find them across multiple nations. This isn't some revolutionary new technology Russia has introduced to the world. Now, despite Putin's claims that the Kinzhal missile is a revolutionary hypersonic weapon, experts argue that it does fall short of much of the criteria. Hypersonic vehicles are those typically defined as being able to maneuver freely at speeds over Mach 5 within Earth's atmosphere. The Kinzhal, while capable of making some minor course corrections, doesn't possess the maneuverability that is required to be considered a true hypersonic weapon. What is even further more unlikely is the claims on the range. The Kinzhal is claimed to have a range of 1,200 miles compared to just 300 miles for the Iskander. Some people may say, well, attaching it to an aircraft could potentially enhance its capabilities. Well, adding 900 miles because you attach it to an aircraft doesn't make sense. That would be like the U.S. Air Force comes out and says that the JDAM bomb has a range of 4,015 miles because the B-52 bomber can travel 4,000 miles. No, the range of the actual missile or bomb is the range it carries internally. You can't add the range of the aircraft. Otherwise, we all could do that, and we could say that, look at our 4,000 mile range JDAM bombs that are they don't even have a propulsion system on them. So it's kind of a silly claim that Russia and Vladimir Putin have made on the range when they add the range of the missile to the range of the aircraft, which seems to be what they've been doing. In reality, there's really only two main classes of hypersonic vehicles, and I talked a little bit about this earlier: hypersonic glide vehicles and hypersonic cruise missiles. Hypersonic glide vehicles are high-speed warheads for ICBMs that can change direction upon re-entry into the atmosphere, making their trajectory unpredictable. Now, hypersonic cruise missiles, on the other hand, have an air-breathing propulsion system that allows for high-speed powered flight. Often these are called scramjet engines. The Kinzhal missile doesn't have either. It doesn't fit either of these categories. It lacks the necessary maneuverability. It doesn't have a scramjet engine. It's just a ballistic missile. It's not characterized as a hypersonic missile, and in 2020, NATO released a report saying the exact same thing. Even so, Russia doesn't have many of these Kinzhal missiles anyways, and they have even less Zircons, which is their actual hypersonic missile that is in development. But according to Ukrainian intelligence, Russia has a stockpile of about 50 Kinzhals at the start of the war, and it has used about 12 of them, a dozen or so. And there's now potential for that Patriots are intercepting them, which is not unheard of, because as we've established, the 17-year-old Kinzhal only maxes, well, the 17-year-old Iskander, of which the Kinzhal's built on, only maxes out at Mach 7 if we are to believe Russia. When that's when it's air launched. The Patriot intercepted 41 of 42 Scud missiles in Iraq in 1991. The Scud missile travels at Mach 5. And yes, I said 1991, when cell phones looked like this. That was 32 years ago, so we can assume the Patriot has gone through multiple upgrades since then, to include the new PAC-3 version, which the Ukrainians are using. And there are even more advanced variants within the PAC-3 iteration. And I'm sure the Patriot has no problem intercepting a Mach 7 missile. If you want to see where the true hypersonic missiles are, there's a couple of countries, really there's only three. The US, the Chinese, and yes, the Russians are developing hypersonic missiles. The US has its Hawk missile, which is a hypersonic cruise missile. This is one that the US has chosen over what was previously the hypersonic glide vehicle, which was the Arrow system. That's the one that they have stopped working on, but they all share technology. The Chinese have a hypersonic missile, and the nomenclature escapes me, but then the Russians are working on the Zircon, which is also a hypersonic missile. So those are where we're at. There's no such thing as a hypersonic missile when it comes to the Kinzhal. But if you want to learn more about this, if you want better, more in-depth explanations on missile specifics and intercept capabilities, you need to check out Alex Hollings or Habitual Line Crosser, as they are far better subject matter experts on air capability and air defense. I'm a logistics guy by trade with a ton of knowledge and experience in field artillery and as a strategic theater planner. They're air power and air defense experts. So watch their videos. They do a better job of talking about the specific capabilities as well as the intercept capabilities with a bunch of nerdy math, and it's pretty cool. So yeah, anyways, again, Kinzhal's not a hypersonic missile, and it's not unheard of that a Patriot should be able to intercept it.